Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Give me a shout out in chat if you can hear me. I know you can hear that lovely music. You're screaming about it. It's going to be going live here in just a minute. Final preps before we go live. Look at that chat. Welcome everyone. Love to see the outpouring. I know you guys are very excited to be here. Me too. It's going to be a great stream. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Sound check. Everything looks good. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Roller Coaster Tycoon World Stream. I am community manager here at Atari. Nook Riot. Adam is my real name. A little bit about me. I support and engage the community. I'm here to show you RCTW Early Access, what's coming tomorrow. But before I get into too much about me, I want to give a big shout out to supporters. We use a lot of different products here in our studio as well as in our office. DX Racer, HyperX, Razer, Alienware, Origin, Logitech, ROG, Acer, Steam. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with their products. We love them. We use a ton of them here in the office. The other big shout out and thanks I want to give is to you guys stopping by. I've been patient for a very long time with this game. We have a lot to share today. We're not going to get through everything today. There's a lot more to come. And we're refocusing the streams a little bit. I'm sure you guys are familiar with how we were doing things to hype it up in the past, showing some of the older titles. Well, RCTW is here. You guys are going to have it tomorrow. So we're going to go through a little bit of what it's all about. Focus more on kind of like a walkthrough. Instead of me just playing through, I'm going to explain some of the tutorials, show you where the things are on the menu and the UI and all that good stuff. As always, get over on Steam. We're going to be heavily monitoring that community. We've got a pin sticky up on the discussion threads right now to where you can see our archive link for YouTube as well as the archive link on Steam. We want to see your footage. Get it to us, show us. We know there are super creatives out there. Don't be shy. Give it to us. Show it to us. We want to see it. So I gave you a little bit about me. Chat is scrolling pretty fast. I'm going to try and get to questions as I can as we go through. However, the blog that we had posted on Early Access gives a detailed list of what's coming tomorrow. This is it. It's here, guys. So what I'm going to do, further ado, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump right into it. Now, main menu you'll see here. First and foremost, when you guys get it, be sure you're registered on Steam so you can receive updates and be integrated with the workshop and share your stuff and hang out with your friends and everything. Steam's great. Been on Steam forever. Hit me up on Steam, NOOKRIOT, Nook Riot. You find me on Steam. Add me as a friend. Share parks, share schematics, UGC, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. Options. Go in and check your graphics, right? You have presets, low, medium, high, as well as custom. You can scroll down, you can see, you can change a bunch of different things, which makes it highly customizable to what your hardware specs are. General settings are just that. You can change your language in your units, edge scrolling, and a couple of other camera options as well. Controls, you have the ability to keep them as default as they come, but you can run through and set your hotkeys up for general movement, camera movement, as well as objects. Excuse me, and the same for shortcuts. A little parched. You can change all your audio stuff. Mine's always full max. You gotta be fully immersed if you want. And then credits and legal, which I'm not going to go into too much right here. I think it's more in line with shout outs for credits to the dev team at a later time, which we'll talk about later on in the stream. So please stick around. And we're looking at about an hour here. If we go a little bit over, that's okay, I think. I think you guys wouldn't mind if we went over an hour. So first and foremost, you're looking at campaigns. This is what we're going to get. You're going to have 5 campaigns coming through tomorrow. Frolicking Forest, Capering Canyon, Luminous Isle, Dusty Dunes, and Lilac Lake. That's as much spoiler as I'm going to give right now. I'm not going to open these and get into them because I know you guys are going to want to tear right into them, which please do. Share your stories with us. Second on the list, I want to take a look at scenarios. Just like the old school ones, you can scroll. You can see that there are a bunch of different scenarios that are actually locked. When it comes tomorrow, you're going to have 3. Winding Wilds, Penny Park, and Gilded Glade. So Here, for example, scenario 1, Winding Wild. It's not a spoiler, you can see it. Take a successful park higher. Difficulty easy, duration short. So just like all the other existing franchises, the predecessors, you're going to have the option to go through these scenarios at your will. But for the sake of what we're going to show here today, I'm going to go through and bring Sandbox. Same as the campaigns. The only difference here is one I'm just going to do Frolicking Forest to open up with. You can all check unlimited or limited money, whichever you want. Unlimited, it's Sandbox. Why would you have limited money? I don't know, maybe you'd like an extra bit of a challenge for yourself in a Sandbox mode. It's your choice when you get into it. Jump into the loading. Chat is scrolling super duper fast. We've already exceeded what we were at last time we had RCT Throwback, which is really exciting. So I do apologize up front if I miss your questions. Try to give a shout out to @Rollercoaster Tycoon. This way I can kind of see it. I'm taking notes over here on the side as well. I got my pen handy ready to go. So I'm going to try and get to those. A big shout out to Jordan M. Richard, JMR. He's one of our chat moderators out there today. Show him some love, chat. Give him a big shout out. Great to have him here. Here it is, park opening, right? There's the main entrance gate. Now, think of it. It's walkthrough, tutorial. It is, I'm going to show you guys the basics. I'm not going to get into too advanced of a park. Those are for later down the line. Plus, I want to feed in on some of your guys' stuff once you do get it and you can show it to us and share it with us. A lot of creatives out there. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. So, basic movement, WASD or the arrow key. So, forward, backwards, right, forward, backwards, left, right, all the basics. Just take the mouse wheel and scroll it, zoom in and out, zoom all the way in, you can zoom all the way out. And finally, the middle mouse wheel. Click it and hold it, and you can rotate the camera, right? You can also take and tilt forward and backwards. And it's a wonderful, lovely thing. So you kind of get the feel of moving around through the actual environment, through your park. You take and scroll all the way out. You can see this lovely little park here. Looks like there may be additional park expansions around the edges. But for now, we're going to stick with what we have. Basic walkthrough. First and foremost, terrain deformation. So while I want to build some stuff in the middle of the park there, I'm going to take off to the side here a little bit and show you guys how to modify the terrain. I know you guys have been asking about some of that stuff, anything like these tunnels coming, dark rides, we're going to be able to do it well here. Just to show you what we have, what you're going to be able to play with tomorrow. Terrain deformation. I want to make a couple of little ponds. Actually, you know, let's make a kind of a long pond back over here. Take it and just nice and gently place a happy little pond over here. Just a happy little pond. For those of you that get the reference out there. We can go through and fill it up a little bit of water. How about that? And you can see you can fill it up. It splashes over a little bit. You get some notifications. Oh, your entities are underwater. Well, of course they are. You're splashing the water in there like a maniac. Calm down. Be gentle with the water, please. But essentially, go through and you can take it. Okay. Instead of that, you know what? Let's make some hills. Let's make some rolling hills over here as well. You can see you can make some nice rolling hills. You can actually take and paint a couple of different textures on there, like sand texture, rock texture. So you say, oh, make a little bit of rock textures around the sides. I'm not too much of an artist, so you'll have to excuse me for my minimalistic creations here. But essentially, terrain deformation at its best. You can take and you can flatten stuff to make it really flat topped, different tiers and levels. You can also go through and smooth things out, which is really, really nice. Next up, I want to go ahead and actually take a look at the tutorial menu. At any time, you can go through and check out the tutorials here. It'll give you the basics of camera movement, flat rides, paths, cues, scenery, and the coaster builder, which is going to be crazy. I'm sure I'm going to build the world's lamest coaster, and that's fine. At least you guys get to see the world's lamest coaster. But that's a little bit later on in the stream. I'll keep track of time here on the side too, guys, so bear with me. Let's go back into it. So scrolling out, basics. We're going to take and drop an attraction, right? So let's scroll in a little bit to get some detail, right? Let's pull up our, here are your rides. In this one button down at the bottom of the UI, you'll see all your rides. You'll have 3 sub-buttons: junior rides, family rides, thrill rides. Well, today, I'm going to go with a junior ride. Why? Because it's one of the all-time classics, merry-go-round. Who doesn't love a nice merry-go-round? So now basic operation of how to place it. You can see that ring around the entire object, or flat ride, that's the circle of influence. And we'll get to that a little bit later when we start to make and place scenery objects around to make it more attractive to the peeps as they come into the park. But modifiers, if you notice in the bottom right-hand corner of the UI, you'll see freeform mode. Oh, first peep coming in right there. Button 1 and 2 on the keyboard, 1 and 2, you can switch back and forth between two different things. Spinning the object, so if we select 1, hold down the Shift key, scroll the mouse wheel, we will spin the object. So you can freeform to place it at any angle you would like. The other one you can do too is if you press 2, you can raise it up and down, which is really cool. But for being simple, keeping the stream nice and easy, I'm going to just lay it flat on the ground. And when you're ready to place it, obviously, give it a left click. Drops down. You got your big red circle with the cross through it. Means it's not open. Well, of course, you have to open your rides, right? But before we open the ride, I want to talk a little bit about paths. People need to get on them. They need to be connected to the rest of the park. So let's go down into paths. Let's go ahead and build the exit path first. I don't know why I like to do things a little backwards from time to time, so you'll have to bear with me. So I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. You've got a nice simple path all the way over here so you can see it, right? There, beautiful. They have the exit. Next, we're going to pull up the queues. You need the entry queue for people to get on the rides, correct? Rolling through here, I'm going to take and put in the queue entry. Why not make it crazy? Let's go make them connected right there, just like that. Let's go through and turn it on. The next piece, you want to see it? So let's go ahead and look at some of these. I got multiple chats going on here, guys. You have to bear with me. The beauty of live production, right? So one of the pieces that a lot of people have been asking and talking about is the simulation part of the game. Well, each aspect of the game should have its own, rightfully so. Here's the ride. We're going to go through, and we're going to take a quick look at the simulation, the actual management aspect of your rides. And just to start, we're going to look. So you can go in here for the merry-go-round 1, and you can adjust the price. And you know what? Because this is the early access stream, I'm going to go ahead and do it with $1. I'm going to charge only $1. Notice I have not opened the ride yet. It's still closed. So we're going to go ahead and you can see the operations and maintenance, the number of cycles, the wait for capacity, the minimum wait time, maximum wait time, inspection interval for your mechanics when you place your mechanic building. That's right, there's a mechanic building. You're not just going to drop mechanics. Here, finances and customer satisfaction. You can see how happy they are with this ride and the finances from it. Income per hour, running cost, profit per hour. And these, as the peeps get on it and ride it multiple times, it's going to generate the numbers and come through in the actual simulation. You'll see those. We just opened this ride. I don't think anybody's even in the queue yet, but you can see people starting to come into the actual park now. So, customization. Notice this is a little blank. Let's say it's blank because it's blank, and we'll just leave it at that for now. And then testing. And you can see excitement, intensity, nausea and safety levels. Safety, obviously, merry-go-round is very safe. Nausea levels are pretty low. I don't know if anybody's going to get sick off a merry-go-round, although it has happened. And then again, thoughts. Peep thoughts of what's going on here. I've been waiting in line for merry-go-round 1 for ages. So I think, oh, so maybe I'll go ahead and, you know, adjust the wait time or adjust the wait for capacity or the number of cycles. Whatever you want, but don't forget to come back to the opening, right? Basic ride operation. Let's go ahead and open that ride. So now as peeps start walking through the park here, you'll be able to see them getting on the ride here. And as they start to filter through and populate in the park, the next piece I want to talk about really quick, well, maybe not really quick because it has beautifying aspects of your attractions. I'm going to go into scenery. So basically from flat menu, nothing selected, you come over here to scenery. And there's a whole bunch of different things that you can add and put into your park. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to put a couple of trees, poplar trees, and you see how that circle of influence popped up again? That means anything you put inside that circle directly affects this attraction. So you can dress it up however you like. Your peeps are going to have different needs for the themes, sci-fi, western, generic. So if you tailor them to those specific themes, the peeps that like those themes are going to congregate towards these rides more so than they would something else. So just to continue on, place a couple of trees, drop it. Oh, you want to change something out? Just right click to get rid of it and come back and select something else. The funky sci-fi tree, space shroom, those are always fun to put. Cactus. So you can see all the different theme type stuff coming through. Tropical coconut trees and bamboo plants. You could do flowers and plants. You can see cactus and some space sci-fi stuff, which is really cool. And then here, random lilac. So you can come through, place a couple. You can also adjust these like you can objects and flat rides by holding the shift button. You can take and rotate it. So let's zoom in a little bit here. You can see how I'm rotating that plant. See that? That's good. Let's go ahead and put a happy little bush right here. Happy little bush right over here, right in the middle. Right? What else can we put there? We can put in some rocks. See all these different rock formations. Some of them are generic here for the frolicking, and then you have the western ones, which is really, really cool. You can be very creative, adjust to however you want. You can also spin these so you can kind of like bunch them together if you want to make these rock formations, make them look really cool. So you can add a couple of different ones. Venture rock, a small rock, yeah, sure, why not? Let's put this one right there. So you can make these little rock clusters and bunches around all your rides, which is always really cool. Oh, well, look at that. It changed to night. That's a perfect segue now after we've added some scenery to talk about day-night cycles. One of the things you'll notice down in the left, there are a couple of different UI options down here. Okay, first and foremost, free camera. We showed you basic movement on how to get in and out, right? WASD with the mouse wheel, you can rotate, you can zoom in and out, you can scroll around and pan and rotate. You can also hit free camera mode to where this will basically put you in a standard stationary camera to where you can do flybys. Wherever you're pointing, you can fly by. See, and it's nice and slow. You can get these really creative shots. You can go through nice and slow and easy and look and see what's going on. All you do F. That's what I have it hotkeyed. I have it hotkeyed to F right now. So it'll zoom it right back to where that last main camera aspect was. You can see everybody's waiting in line. All my people in my entire park right now are just on that one ride. So that's wonderful. But to go a little bit further, oh, see, they're getting off. The other ones are getting on. I'm actually going to come over here and take a look at some scrolling chat. I see the RCT tag popping out at me. Graphics thing, yeah. I'm not going to be able to change the graphics in the game, right? Nope. Only change them outside of the game. That's why I said in the beginning, when you start the game, make sure that you're checking your graphics settings for whatever they need to be. Making sure that you go in. If they look a little too low, you come back out, turn them up. And again, on the fly, those are going to be something that we have on the list to be adjusted. Oh, look at that. The peeps coming off. You see emoticons. Somebody's hungry. Somebody's angry. I don't know why somebody would be angry coming off a merry-go-round. They're kind of peaceful. That's very strange. But anyway, going on through, we showed you basic placement of the ride, basic scenery placement, path connecting. One of the different things that I want to talk about is specific, the simulation pieces, right? We talked about those a little bit. You saw some of the emoticons. There's another one that just popped up right there. People get hungry, people get thirsty, so one of the things I want to do is go through and take and place down some buildings, non-ride buildings. So you see food and drink, souvenir shops, park services, and staff. So just because I saw somebody that was hungry, let's go ahead and de-thirster. Graphics, max graphics. All right, you guys. All right, I'm seeing a lot of chats here about the graphics. So you know what? Because we didn't do that much detail in the park, I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to quit back out to the main menu and jack it up for you. Trying to be across a whole bunch of different bandwidth settings and computer settings across the entire globe as we hit the stream live. So, but you know what? I'm going to crank it up and see if you guys can handle it. Momentarily go back to the main menu because as you saw inside the game, you won't be able to change the graphics while you're playing at early access. So let's go back out. Custom, very far. Everything looks good. Notice the scroll bar come down all the way up. That's good. Double checking everything, and then and to go one step further, checking my stream settings. Yep, everything. 1080, 60, yep. guys should be going good. Enable very level of detail very high. Go through so you can change all NVIDIA GameWorks. Enable, disable. Reflections are there. You can enable those. Everything's enabled. Force enable if you want. Disable or enable. Distance, you can take a shadow distance and turn it on very short, very far. All right, I'm going to go back in, another fresh park. I'm going to leave off where we were. Don't want to mess around with any save games right now. Going through. Okay, message deleted, spamming. That's all right, you guys. I know you guys are very excited. That's awesome. Package loading. Going to get back into a fresh park. We don't have to cover all the controls again because you guys have seen those. Building your park. Please wait. Yes, we are patiently waiting. Thank you very much. Back again, and I'm going to actually take it. I'm going to lock it on time of day right now, just in case. So we saw the basic flat rides, terrain deformation. We went through some of the attractions, the pathings, the queues. We showed some of the simulations. One of the big things that is really interesting and advanced that we get into is the actual coaster builder. So now, again, I warned you earlier, I am not a super creative person, and the coaster builder is intimidating at oftentimes, but I'm going to take some time. We're going to walk through it because the beauty about it is you can run through the freeform builder that will show you that you guys have seen in some of the streams that we've done in terms of what was at PAX and all that good stuff. Well, now here I'm going to show you the transition between the two. You know, they're both there. You're going to be able to use both of them. So first and foremost, you have all of these different coasters, right? You can see all the different types, plus blueprints. Anything you do custom create, you can save and share with your friends. So first, you know what? I want to do a wooden coaster. They're one of my favorites. Here on Launch with Early Access, you'll see we have 5 different wooden coasters that are pre-built. You can take and you can place any of those wherever you want. Rotate them around just like a normal ride, but we're not going to do that. What I want to do is I want to build a custom coaster. So rotate the base station where it is. Let's give ourselves some room to path and build around. Again, world's lamest coaster coming at you right now. See what it does? It opens it up right to this film, the freeform builder. So you have a very fluid way of moving the track around and being able to place it at precisely wherever you want. So again, with the freeform moderation tools here, the modifiers we're calling them, they got keys 1 through 4. You have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you notice down here on the actual point here of the node, it'll change up and down. So if you press 1, you can raise it and lower it. Very simple. If you press 2, you can take it and tilt it left and right. So you can get those banks, those really accurate banks when you're coming around a turn off a nice big drop. The other one you want to get to here. Oh yeah, you can rotate them around and around. And this is really cool because it's not just for the wooden coaster, obviously. You can take, let's escape out. Do I want to get rid of this one? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's get rid of it. Let's kill it. Remove it. You can come up and pull. How about, what do we got? Stand-up coaster, dive coaster, floorless coaster, flying coaster, inverted coaster, accelerator coaster. Let's just do a stand-up. Let's see if I can successfully build a stand-up coaster. All right, so let's rotate this around. I want to keep the paths right by the front so we can connect them once they're ready to go. Right in the center. There we go. And it's going to whip me out to this side, so that's fine. One of the cool things about it is you can take and say, oh, I want to build nice and easy, nice and lovely. You know what? I'm really struggling here. I don't really like it. You can also come back down to the piece-by-piece track builder, the way you used to be able to do it. So you can just go ahead and build individual track inclines, and you can build flat piece declines, and then just jump right back into the coaster builder just like this. The freeform builder is that simple to jump back and forth between. So again, I'm going to practice building the world's lamest coaster, and please let me know, guys, if it is the world's lamest coaster, because I'm sure it is. All the RCT experts out there trying to build around all the different aspects of the park. Told you what I tell you. But see, one of the cool things too is that you can come back, select it again, come back into the build. So if you click off it and you're on the map, or you're trying to right click or get adjusted to the different settings, edit the coaster. So you can take and pull it wherever you want. You know what? I don't like that one. Just going to delete it out and go back to where I was. Or you can come down here and use the delete button as well. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit better. Zoom in so I can actually see what I'm doing here with all the twists and turns. I'm going to go ahead and flatten it out a little bit. Right? Sure, why not? Let's make it, flatten it, bend it a little bit. Yeah, sure, why not? I told you. I warned you guys. I warned you. I don't know if this is going to work. Well, it'll successfully build, but will it pass the test? We are soon to find out. So coming through, let's go ahead. Let's get rid of the twist and turn to the left and right. Let's go ahead and let's flatten it out. Drop it down. And you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and take the easy way out really quick. You guys get all the way to the end. I'm going to just autocomplete. Oh, why can't you autocomplete? What happened? Something's in the way. How awesome is that? I'm going to go down and bulldoze some stuff. Oh, maybe that tree was in the way. Or maybe some of these are in the way. Go through and clear them out. Come back. Don't delete the coaster. Make sure you escape before you delete. Click on the coaster. It'll bring back up that management aspect. Click on edit the coaster. Autocomplete. There it is. Now, what are we missing? What are we missing? I'll tell you what we're missing. Mechanisms. So we have an incline over here, right? What do we need for the incline? Mechanisms. So that brings us down to the custom coaster builder. The ability to make it whatever you want. See, mechanisms next. Let's actually take a look at the track. That's to build everything. Here you have chain lift, friction brakes, boosters, and depending on the type of coaster you build, you'll have different mechanism options to go through. For this one here, you know what? Let's go ahead and put a little bit of a booster on there, see how far it goes. So you got to select the track, and you can see it highlights all the different nodes across, so you know that specific area is where you're going to be putting your boosters. You can use a chain lift if you want for a wooden coaster. I know those are pretty standard. There it is. And then once you put it up, you can actually adjust the force. And I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but we'll zoom in on that just a little bit. Let's leave it at 5, and let's see if it fails. That's one of the beauties. It's live stream. Anything can happen, right? Sure, why not? Now, I know that the actual station itself has brakes on the inside. You kind of see those, and I'm gonna try and use those to start and see what happens. So essentially, before we get into the test, more customization. Trains. This is going to jump you right into the actual station to where you can go ahead and add more or delete. So I say I want to have all of them, right? But now you can go through. I want to make this one pastel pink. Look at the attendant waving. Hi, good to see you. Glad to be here. Caribbean green. Olive. So you can go through and make these all different colors, whatever you want. The next coloring piece is the track pieces. You'll notice a theme here as I shift back down to the right-hand side of the UI again. You're going to have your moderation tools, your modifiers. You're going to be able to do keys 1, 2, and 3 to color the different tracks. So let's zoom out just a little bit so we can get a good chunk of view here on the coaster. And we're going to do track 1, which is the coaster rail. You can see the top 2 nodes right here selected the rail. Let's make it a really vibrant color because it's already like a whitish track. Let's go ahead and make it Congress blue. You see that all the way around. Now let's see if you press the 2 key, you're going to come down here into the coaster frame. So being that it's white on green, what can stand out? Let's make it Caribbean green. No, how about something saddle brown? Ooh, you can make it dark brown all the way around. You could do it black if you want. Really lots of options for you guys to get in there and create what you want. And the third and final modifier is the coaster supports. So when you're going to go through Beautiful or Geraldine or Crimson, actually like West Side, that's very, very bright. So you can see it went through and made all the coaster supports that one color. And essentially once you get through, that brings us over to test mode, right? And this kind of helps where we go through and talk about speeding up time. Some of these things are really slow. So let's go ahead and kick it up 1 notch of time here, 1 notch of speed. Let's see how it pulls. Beautiful. See, go all the way up and around. It's going to fail eventually. Come on. You can do it. There it comes. Back into the station. And that's me sliding. Oh, it failed. Why did it fail? Because it went right through. You see that? And now one of the cool things, too, here is you can see the heat maps of all the different speeds. So here's speed. And you can notice the highest is almost pink, 125 miles per hour, all the way to 0 down to yellow. Starts off really slow and actually picked up on the boosters again. It's going to keep going around and around until I stop it. But this way you can see all the different speed all the way around and where you got to go. So basically here at the end, where it's supposed to start to slow down, it's at 72 miles an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop the test. I'm going to go back to mechanisms. I'm going to select this little end piece right here. Do we want to add nodes? No, I'm going to try and do brakes. Just friction or brakes. Let's do friction brakes. See force, and let's go ahead and let's put it at something low to start. We can tweak it as we go through. Let's leave it at 2. Let's go ahead and run another test, get it through. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and crank up the speed on this one, so you guys can see as it goes through. We're at 3. We're at full speed. So that's going to come around. Slow it down when we get to the end. Fail. See, look at that. It immediately stopped, right? So what does that mean? Too much stretch of that track with brakes on. Even if we turned them all the way down, I guarantee it wouldn't even come through. So what are we going to do? Let's go ahead and adjust it. You know what? Do that. See, so I made a little bit, and I want to see if we can get rid of those. Let's go ahead and delete that one. And a node. Delete that node. Delete that node. You see now how the brakes stretched all the way over there? Told you. Not an expert, people. And that's one of the beauties about it too, is that you go through, you can just right click, it'll go back to where it was. Or if you're holding on to it and you want to add nodes, let's go ahead and add some nodes in here. Let's put this one here. These all have brakes on it. It's a very good chance I'm going to have to completely destroy this coaster, just because you're adding the nodes all the way through, and they all have brakes on them. Trying to scroll it all the way through. See, all the way through. I think I'm going to have to go through and try and get rid of some of those. Delete. Highlight all these. Delete. Disconnect it. Now bring it all the way back, nice and clean, where we started from. So you kind of see the transition back and forth. You get a little too caught up in something at the end, you can always go back to where it was. So let's go ahead and let's make these a little bit. Let's make these pieces a little more manageable. Instead of one giant piece at the end, I'm going to go ahead and just make nice little pieces here. Zoom it around, rotate it in. Let's actually pitch it a little bit up so we get a little bit just like that. Come this way. Make a little curve. Let's curve around this tree just like that. Too long. Let's go right here. So we have that node. And then, of course, what am I going to do at the end? Autocomplete. Now, if we select and we go back into manage it, I'm going to put mechanisms. See, it's got a much smaller piece. And we can shorten that down just like that right there. So now we can try that little piece, and I'm going to try brakes right there and see if that works. Let's do it again with, do a little brakes, force brakes or friction. Yeah, we'll see. If the friction doesn't work, then we'll put the force the regular brakes on. So I'll do it one more time. Let's come through, test it. I'm going to speed it up just because of the way it is. Cool. You guys can't see some of those? All right, I see some more chats coming through. I'm going to go ahead and pop myself up over here really quick. This way. And I was talking down to the left-hand side of all the UI, and you guys couldn't even see it. That's what happens. Too many people in chat. It goes too fast. So there it goes again. Too fast. Look, all the way through. See? It brakes aren't enough. So you know what? Let's go ahead and stop it. Go back into maintenance. Back into mechanisms. And brake force. Let's crank up the brakes. Let's put it up to 8 and see if that works. As this is scrolling through one more time here, I'm all checking some chats. Good call. You guys are welcome. See a couple people saying thanks for moving the camera. Yeah. Oh, Pass. And now it's just going to keep running and cycling. And again, you can see the heat maps coming all the way through, which is it's just really, really cool to be able to check those different types of things out. You can also see here down towards the end the actual data that comes through when it's done, excitement, intensity, nausea, and safety as well. So now one of the final pieces, let's go ahead and connect it. You can see that the exit side is actually, you know what, I'm going to stop it. This way it's not all over the place. You can actually close it all out, the heat map go away. Simple padding. Let's go ahead and turn the speed back down. You get a little bit better view of the exit first. Straight pads. Let's make this really simple. Let's come underneath, just like that. Zoom this out a little bit. Connect that. Make these cues very, very simple. Nothing super fancy or super crazy. All right, maybe we'll get a little bit crazy. I see people say as soon as they see pads, they're ready to go. They want to see it right away. And again, just like the other flat ride that we showed before, you can come in and you can do all of the management aspect of it, all of the operation. You can see admission price. Yeah, let's go ahead and make it a cheap coaster to get everybody on it. You can adjust things, all of the different operating modes, synchronizing agents when you get dueling coasters that you can create, number of cycles, weight capacity. Some of the options are different depending on all the different rides that you place. A lot more detail here for a coaster, obviously. Finance is another one. You can see customer satisfaction and the finances. Here, the actual customization and music. A little bit blank at the moment. And again, here, once you get through the actual test results and ride stats, maximum speed, average speed, ride duration, length, and all that good stuff. And you can see people trying to bounce in there, standing in front of that queue. Well, why are they not getting on? Well, I know why. Let's go turn it on, right? Open. And there it goes. You know, people clapping. Hey, thanks, guys. We appreciate you clapping. And again, peeps thoughts. Once you get down, you can see, oh, it makes me sick. Yeah, well, that's kind of the whole point. Even though it may be the world's lamest coaster, it was a little fast there. But again, that is the custom coaster builder. You have a lot of freedom to go through and create any type of coaster you want. One of the other aspects, too, is I see a couple of questions that were actually floating in chat over here. And again, I apologize, guys. It's going kind of fast here on my end, so I'm looking, trying to pick out what I can. One of the questions was size. So you want to expand a little bit? Take a look at how big it actually could be. If we zoom all the way out, you can hear that lovely theme music come all the way out too. One of the options that you can get through is if you come into Modify Terrain, Park Expansion. There it is. This is the size, and you can see it. Purchase amount. Are you sure you want to? I have unlimited money. It's in sandbox mode. If you were in a scenario or something else, they get exponentially times. So you buy it out, you see they went up. Prices went up. So you can take, I'm only going to buy the one, but you can see now the camera's not restricted to that area. So you can scroll in, you can come all the way by this little lake over here. So you can take and basically use the generated terrain that comes through in a sandbox mode and build around it. Or it's sandbox, you can make it whatever you want. You can use your terrain deformation tools to go in, and flatten and lower and make more lakes or mountains or whatever you want to make, which is really, really cool. One of the other aspects of what we're talking about here is the focus, the shift, right? It's early access. This is what's coming tomorrow. There are going to be other streams, and they're going to be less of me trying to do a speed run through older content, as some of you have seen in the older ones, but to really go and look at the development side of it, being able to sit up at the studio and say, hey, these are the guys that are hands-on on the back end, and we're going to sit and go through QA with them. They're going to show us stuff that is coming down the pipe that's going to be coming available to you soon. Don't you love that word soon? It has a whole different meaning now. Just looking at some pre-stream notes that I have taken here in terms of what comes next and all that to make sure I'm on the right page. We show park size, and you can see all the different park extensions here within. It's like a total grid of 9 all the way through. Checking out chat here again really quickly, and I got to scroll the chat too because it went too fast. What do we got? Cool. Train block breaks. Yes, multiple trains. There is a dueling coaster. I'm not going to get into the dueling coaster right now. Didn't you just watch me build that one? That was terrible. That was horrible. I think I would bore you guys to death if I tried to do something that advanced. That's not going to happen. Scroll a little bit here. Actually, come over on this side. Make sure it's still looking good. You guys are still seeing it. Just going to take a little pause in the game to scroll some chat. Bear with me here, guys. Looking. I see coaster cam, coaster cam, coaster cam. Is that what you guys want to see some coaster cam on that monstrosity that I just built? All right. Oh, look, and there's peeps on it too. How about that? There it goes. Oh, close up, peep. Close up. Are you taking a selfie? Are you taking a selfie? The LOD. I see the LOD as well. World's lamest coaster. Coaster cam for the world's lamest coaster. Outstanding. All the way through. Not very exciting. I wonder how many people are going to be upset. Oh, look at all that vomit at the end. Right to the stop. Everybody hops off. All at once at the exact same time. Now look, see, look at that. Obviously, I'm doing something right because people are getting sick. So there are some other aspects that we will be adding eventually here in terms of medics and cleanup to be able to make your park nice and tidy. Well, yeah, of course you're sick. You just got sick off the ride, so your stomach is empty. And the queue line is pretty festive. People are getting on. There goes round 2. Scrolling chat here, guys. You know what? I'm going to actually go ahead and do one more coaster cam here while I'm checking out the chat so you guys can take a look. Again, yeah, you guys are going to see stuff that's off. Early access. You guys are chatting like crazy. Love to see all those chats. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Mostly chatting amongst yourselves. I see some questions about the actual time. The tentative release for tomorrow is approximately 3 p.m. Eastern time here in the States. Again, that's tentative just in case there's any technical issues or whatever the case may be. The actual dev studio is going to be basically on site, on call, whatever you want to call it, just to help make sure everything goes smooth, which would be nice. Another question here. Time launch. I just gave you guys the time launch. I see another question here about park entrance. Yeah, actually, there's a couple aspects that we haven't gotten to yet that we're going to get there. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything crucial. Yeah, coaster cam again. All right, let's kill that coaster cam. We showed a little bit of scenery. Some of the other stuff that you can go through. Or again, here, as soon as you open up a scenery menu, decor, not a whole bunch right now. We got some candy canes. Yeah, let's put a candy cane. A little candy cane. A little candy cane. Hedges and topiaries. Oh, what is that? An Atari bush? Oh, you put an Atari bush. And then you go through and see some of the other ones. Hay bales, round topiaries. So you can put all kinds of bushes and shrubs. Flowers and plants. We kind of looked at a little bit already. There's a bunch of different themes here with all, as you can see how far I'm scrolling over. There's a ton of stuff that you can go through here. Flower beds, you can do specifically made garden-type flower beds of a bunch of different colors and shapes right here. Trees we kind of looked at already. Looked at a bunch of the different trees here, even the funky space shroom. Rock formations was another one. If you guys have been paying attention to the blogs on our website, all the UGC that everybody's been making has been pretty intense, which is awesome. One of the things that's coming through is facades. You can go through and instead of just placing scenery or objects, you can take and place something like a side, right? So you can say, oh, I want to make this theme like an old school theme and just place this so it's kind of like a scenery view. It has no function other than aesthetics to make it look nice. And that's kind of funky and out of place, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. Some of the other things, centerpieces. So you can look at like statues. I know you guys are all here. Oh, well, statues, photo spot. People can stop and take pictures. And some of the other theme stuff. One of my favorites cool is the skull head. You can take and base and put on whatever you want. Say, okay, this is, want to put it right by the entrance probably. But how cool is that? Rotating. You can see it rotated nicely. You got the big skull head sitting right there, which is really cool. A bunch of other things here. Sci-fi theme stuff. There's a whole bunch of different things. Regular, you can do an antique fountain. Put an antique fountain right there. Let's do a modern fountain. Why not? A little bit bigger than the antique, but you can put it right there. You can show all the different pieces that you can put in. And then I know there was a question in chat too about arches. You can take and put a couple of different arches. One of my favorites is if you take and build a park management or a support building like a mechanic or a medic or whatever, you can build a separate color path and put and actually, you know what? Actually, we got some time, so you know what? I'm going to go through that real quick. Let's go ahead. Park services. No, let's actually do park staff. So let's do a small janitor building. Rotate it. Just rotate it crazy, right? Just like that. Snug it up right there. I'm going to take just a normal path, and I'm going to make it that nice black asphalt path. Have you ever been to a true theme park? Most of the paths look a little bit different, so I'm going to take and just connect it like that. And now we can go back into scenery and put in no entry signs. So you got small, medium, and large. Let's put up a small one. You put it right so you can actually slip it around. So you got the big no entry sign right in the front. So people will go, they say, you can't get in there. And you know what? You can actually drop down because there's so much vomit over there. See, and it's, again, performance, how much they've cleaned, how much litter they've cleaned, total pee clean, total vomit clean. I mean, it's all there for you guys to see and check out. Go ahead and turn that on. So again, checking out a very limited amount here. There's a bunch of different advanced aspects that we want to get into in future streams to come, especially dev stuff, being able to go through and have you guys get into early access and give us the feedback of stuff that is not working, even down to creative ideas for additions, and actually being able to take those items and put them into UGC and put them into the game and show fleshed out parks like that is going to be insanity. I really can't wait to see. Look at all this vomit is piling up over here. It's been pretty crazy. So we're pushing at about a little less than 15 minutes here. Like I said, I want to keep it at about an hour. I don't want to get too crazy. There's lots to see and there's lots to do. Two of the big aspects that I wanted to cover, it's park management. It's the sim stuff, right? You guys want to know, oh, look at all those people. Sorry, I get totally distracted. Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful sight. Everybody getting sick off my custom coaster. That's awesome. So one of the other things I want to talk about here, park management, the sim aspect of it, to get back to it. Now I'm going to focus, I promise. I won't go off into shiny lands here in a minute. Park operations, you can still manage the entry price to get in the park. You can put it as high as you want. You can put it down as low as you want. You can also close the park. You can look at things like rating. These are all going to be in graph form, so you can see things like rating, like how far up the rating goes, and you can toggle these on and off. So if you want to just look at just the overall, you can toggle those off. You can see the overall park rating, or if you want to just look by park beauty, it's been pretty stable. Haven't put a lot of scenery, so I wouldn't expect it to spike or dip either way. Attraction variety, that kind of slumped a little. We haven't really built a fully fleshed out park. Guest satisfaction went up a little bit, then came down a little bit. Ride quality, it went down. We have one ride now. We had a coaster because we started over again. So again, being able to get in there and look at these different things, toggle those checks on and off to look at the different ratings and how they're trending in your park. For some of you sim fans out there, I know it's going to be a huge aspect a lot of you guys were asking about. Park value, simple enough. You can see park value, ride value, shop value, company value. So all those financial aspects of being able to see how things are going. And then your guests, all your children, teenagers, adults, and all, to see the actual rate of how many people. And that kind of plays into the peep count up here. You can see the peep count coming up or down, the little marker on the right trending, whether it's going up or people are coming to your park, or people are leaving your park. And then again, park thoughts. You can go see, oh, the park has really nice scenery, and go through and see what it is. Oh, tickets to Tycoon Park are surprisingly a good value. Awesome. I'm glad everybody loves the cheap prices to get into my park. Another aspect of the top here on the left-hand side, objectives are not available in Sandbox mode, but once you go through campaign and scenario, there will be objectives you'll be able to fulfill. Look at those people so hungry. That's great. And then notifications. You can go through and see, oh, peeps that are hungry, peeps that are complaining the park is too crowded, peeps are very happy in your park. Well, maybe not so much. We could adjust some things here and there. People are looking for some place to rest. You can put some benches down. a whole bunch of other different things, all the different milestones of reaching a certain value with your park, passing tests when you build your certain coaster. So lots and lots of really cool stuff. Kind of scroll back over here to some chat as we watch the vomit piles collect. Scrolling a little bit slower. Looking at some questions. Can we see flat rides, please? Yes, absolutely. We showed one flat ride earlier, but I'll drop a couple more here in just a minute. As per your request, here you got junior rides, family rides, and thrill rides. So you know what? Let's launch a. Do we want a gravity flux? How about a ring of fire? Let's drop a ring of fire right here. Right? See if we can squeeze it in. There's a ring of fire. Beautiful. Build some padding. Let's get in. Let's put the queue in. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna reverse build it. I'm gonna spin around, and I'm gonna build a regular normal path first. And we'll keep it that lovely sandy. That's not really sand, it's asphalt color. So now we come back to queues, and we can make it standard queue, and that's fine. Make it a little bit, and some of the snapping is a little bit jumpy, but that's okay. So there. Now again, it's got the sim management. You can see everything in there. So I'm just going to drop it down to $1 so people will go jump on it. That gives them more options for more rides. Some of the other flat rides, again, junior rides, there's a couple. I mean, got the Fun Slide, Merry-Go-Round, Banana Tycoon, Canyon Run, Western Wheel, a bunch of other family rides, Space Wars. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff. You know, we're coming to the close of the stream, and I don't want to get through too much. I want you guys to be able to experience it too. Be prepared to grab it tomorrow when it launches. Stay tuned to Steam once it gets activated and it's starting to count down. You guys should be able to see the countdown until it's available in your Steam library. If you're not registered with Steam, get over there and do that because you're going to need Steam for the updates. And again, just a vertical slice. That's always a fun one. You know what? I love the vertical slice. Do I have room? Can I drop it? Sure. Let's see if we can just let's kill these. And let's see if I can put the vertical slice. Probably not going to have enough room. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough room. And I don't want to expand beyond too much because we're coming here at the end as well. So we have about 8 minutes left. I got to do some shout outs and thanks here towards the end. But one final piece that I want to show you guys is the actual financial management of your park. Down on the right side, you'll see heat maps, finances, social hub, and some of your options. Finances. From the beginning, financial overview. You can see all of your finances here in your park management aspect. Revenue, expenses, investments, going through by month so you can see where you're in the red or where you're in the black. All scroll down by, even down to cash balance. And then you can do it, they have filters on the left-hand side here by activity. So you can come through and see park tickets, how much you made just park tickets alone. If you remember some of the old classic ones, it was specific scenario. You would have to go through and make X amount of money just in park tickets alone. And then you can also check things like actual how much the rides are making, the running cost of the rides, construction and resale, food and drink shops, souvenir shops, park operations. You can really get into the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of park management. We all know it's a lot of fun to go and build a park that's huge and tons of people, but to really go through and beat through scenarios and run through campaigns and get a lot of the I don't know, I guess you could say juice out of it. That's one of my favorite parts is the sim aspect. Go through finances by theme, so you can see rides, foods and drinks. It's kind of like sorting it around, making these views really easy for you to go through and take a look at. Finances by attraction, thrill rides, roller coasters, janitorial. We built that one janitor stall, and obviously they don't make money. Statistics here, park profit, park ticket profit, ride profits, and then you can switch profit, loss, and then revenue, so you can actually see the two different aspects as well. And then here, loans. What would park management be without the ability to take out loans? Don't get too much in debt. It'll come around to bite you, I promise. So again, essentially, in a nutshell, all of your finances for your park management. One of the other tiny aspects here is heat maps. And because we don't have a truly fleshed out park. Once your parks get really, really vast and you're building lots of different themes and lots of different ride types, lots of different building types, you'll be able to come through and show heat maps. Well, you can see where your income is based on the heat map. So park income, which rides have generated the most revenue? All revenue. And then you could do coasters only, flat rides only, shops only. So these are going to show you different things of how it's generating revenue from park income. And then theme concentration. You can look and see general only, adventure only, western only, because we only have the one type custom coaster built. We haven't really done any themes yet. But it's really cool to be able to go through and see those. Once you come out and think about it, you got gigantic park with all the grids open and purchased, and you have a western theme on the left side and a sci-fi theme on the right side. You can actually pull them up by heat map just like this to show the income based on those, which is really, really cool. So again, closing here to the end of the stream. I know you guys probably still have lots of questions. Hit us on the boards, hit us on the forums, trying to take notes here on the side. Some of the mods are sitting here throwing questions at me as well, going through the chat. Chat's going to stay up for a little while longer, of course. Obviously, I know you guys want to maybe ask some stuff. I have a little bit of time to focus some attention and give out some thanks. The big thanks is to you guys for coming and hanging out. We appreciate your patience. It's here tomorrow. You guys are going to see it. If you pre-ordered, you get it. Stay tuned. Another thing that links into that is future streams. We're going to stream again tomorrow, actually from the studio. Time again is tentative, but stay tuned to this channel. We're going to give information out on the website, on Steam, on Facebook, on Twitter, all the usual channels. So stay tuned. There's lots to see with the focus now on EA. It gives us the ability to really center our eyes on being able to make Roller Coaster Tycoon World what it is. Again, guys, thanks for stopping by. See you next time.